Hey guys, a long time no see. 8 months to be exact. But, if you're watching this after all these videos have come out, then I guess it doesn't really matter when I actually managed to get them out. But anyways, we're in chapter 11 of my feature, Flunked the Planet. I'm assuming you're coming straight from chapter 10, so you know what happened last, so I'm not gonna summarize it, partly because I don't remember because it was 8 months ago. Anyways, this is called Chapter 11, Duncan, Who's Got the Duncan? Unfortunately, going after Duncan was complicated by the fact that rumors about Andy seeing a giant alien in Miss Carpu's house began to spread at rocket speed. The result was the entire town of Kennatuck Falls started to go berserk. In any other town, such rumors might have been laughed off, but people in Kennatuck Falls knew that aliens existed. A lot of them had seen Broxholm unmasked at our school concert the previous spring. My going off with him had only made things worse, since most grown-ups couldn't accept the idea that I had chosen to go, and so had convinced themselves that he had kidnapped me. Now they were worried that more children were being abducted. We learned about the rumors through the equipment in Creeblim's saucer, which could pick up anything the police sent over their radios. We set it to record broadcasts from all over the state. The computer then scanned the broadcast for keywords like Duncan, alien, and invasion. Within hours, we learned that people were locking their kids inside, buying guns, and stocking up on ammunition. I thought the panic was in full swing. Actually, it was just getting started. We also learned that while the police search had not yet found anything unusual in Miss Carpu's house, they were seriously considering digging up the backyard. Broxholm ground his purple teeth at that news. If they dig, they'll find proof we were there. Then they'll bring in the federal government, maybe even the military. Will there be a war? I asked, remembering that what the aliens had said about their projections. No telling, he replied, stretching his nose further than I had ever seen it to go before. To make things worse, the rumors convinced the Simmonses that Susan was being held prisoner by aliens. We learned about this when our new scans picked up an interview with the Simmonses. They were hysterical. "Susan Simmons, phone home," I said. "Excellent idea," said Creeblim as she began manipulating the control panel. A call from Susan right now could do much to settle their nerves. The next thing I knew, Susan's father said, "Greetings." It took me a moment to realize that Creeblim had somehow dialed Susan's home and reached the family answering machine. The message from Susan's father ended. The machine beeped. "Go ahead," Creeblim whispered, nodding at Susan. "Talk." Susan nodded back, then said, "Mom? Dad? Hi, it's me. Just wanted to let you know that everything is going great. Miss Carpu and I are having a super time. I'm learning more than I ever expected to." Boy, did she say that line with feeling. "Well, sorry I missed you. I don't have the phone number for where we were going to be next, so I'll call again tomorrow. Hope everything is all right." She nodded, and Creeblim cut the connection. "I hope that makes them feel better," said Susan. "I suspect it will," said Broxholm, "which means our biggest worry now is retrieving Duncan." "I'll be able to locate him with no problem," said Creeblim. "He was carrying the transmitter we gave him in Africa, and I can get a fix on that. But knowing where he is won't tell us who has him or how they're treating him." "My guess is that the government will take custody of him," said Broxholm, "or at least send someone to keep an eye on him. They won't get much out of him if he doesn't want them to." I said, "Duncan's an incredible liar." I stopped, then added, "Well, I know he's different now that he's so much smarter, but brains don't have anything to do with lying. It's not like being smart makes you honest or anything." That still didn't sound very good, so I just said, "What I mean is, he's had a lot of practice." Then I shut up. "It's all right that you don't like Duncan," said Broxholm. "You don't have to hide it from us, as if we would use it as evidence against the planet. Not every being in the galaxy gets along with every other being. I deal with many beings I can barely tolerate." "Then why are you so upset about us?" asked Susan. "Because we don't think disliking a being, disagreeing with it, or even getting furious with it is sufficient reason to kill it." "But that's exactly what you're talking about doing to our whole planet," said Susan angrily. Broxholm tugged on his nose. It's what some of us are advocating, and while I disagree with the idea, I can tell you at least 2 things that make it different. First, your species has a habit of killing. You do it all the time. We have never done anything like this before. Second, if we do this, it will be for the sole purpose of trying to prevent a greater tragedy. He paused. Perhaps that is the real difference. We will see it as a tragedy. You may not have understood that from what you have heard so far, but I tell you truly, if we decide to end human life, we will not rejoice nor brag in song of our conquests and all we have killed. There will be no victory celebration, but a time of sorrow. Indeed, we shall mourn as we have never mourned before, because such a thing was found to be necessary. If that was supposed to make me feel better, it didn't work. So what do we do about Duncan? I asked. I think we should try to get him back right away, said Broxholm. He may be good at lying, but I don't know how long he'll be able to resist the techniques that they may try on him. Well, what do you mean techniques? Asked Susan. Your government has ways of making people talk, said Creeblum. Not all of them are pleasant. Susan's eyes grew wide. But Duncan is just a kid. Creeblum's purple hair leaned to the right. Child though Duncan may be, if agents of your government feel the danger is sufficient, they will not hesitate to do whatever they convince themselves is necessary. I figured Creeblum was just guessing at this, until I remembered Broxholm's previous words about monitoring secret government transmissions. Then I shivered. However, I doubt it will come to that, Creeblum continued. More likely, Duncan will simply tell them what they want to know. Susan shook her head. He's changed, but he's still Duncan, which means, among other things, that he's incredibly stubborn. He won't forget that you said if word of this gets out, you might have to end this mission, that it could even cause a war. If Duncan believes that the safety of the world depends on him keeping his mouth shut, he might try to tough out anything they do to him. I think we should go after him, said Broxholm. This is the kind of thing Big Julie is supposed to be watching for, said Creeblum uncomfortably. Us getting too involved with the natives. I frowned. Big Julie's not here. He'll be back, replied Creeblum. Then we'd better hurry, hadn't we? Asked Susan, her eyes flashing with anger. Child, said Creeblum, do you understand that the failure of this mission could lead to the end of your species? I understand it, and I think it stinks, Susan snapped. But there's not much I can do about that. You either, I guess. Personally, I think you're a bunch of loons, but there's not much I can do about that either. We can do this. What we can do is get Duncan, since he got into this by trying to shield us. Broxholm looked at Creeblum. He pulled his nose and let it snap back into place. Hair squirming, Creeblum nodded and said, We'd best start by figuring out where he is. Turning to the control panel, she touched several of the spheres. After a moment, her nose began to twitch in agitation. Soon it began to slap across her cheek. What's the matter? Asked Broxholm. Creeblum's wormy hair was writhing in dismay. Her voice filled with astonishment. She said, I can't locate him. What do you mean? Asked Susan. Creeblum returned her attention to the panel and began frantically manipulating control devices. Without looking at us, she said desperately, Duncan has disappeared. That doesn't make any sense, said Broxholm. He's got to be somewhere. Do you want to work the controls? Asked Creeblum, her nose slapping even more sharply against her cheek. For a moment I thought they were going to have a fight, which was the last thing we really needed, but Broxholm simply said, No, I trust you. I don't understand, said Susan. Even if something happened to Duncan, shouldn't you be able to locate the transmitter? Of course, said Creeblum. That's what makes this so disturbing. The transmitter is very powerful and nearly indestructible. Even if it was taken from him and put at the bottom of a mine shaft, my sensor should be able to detect it. Wait, said Broxholm. The monitors have picked up something. Silence fell in the cabin as the computer played back a police broadcast. Duncan Dougal has disappeared from custody, said a deep voice. Begin an intensive search for this boy. National security issues may be at stake. What the heck is going on? Asked Susan, her eyes wide. I don't know, replied Broxholm. His nose was twitching with anxiety. I truly don't know. That's the end of chapter 11. So yeah.